There is a darkness in devotion, a shadow that stretches where faith meets fear. Ancient stories whisper of divine tests, trials that push the human soul to the edge of comprehension, to the abyss of the unthinkable. Today we delve into one of these shadows, into the story of a father, a son, and a command that echoes through the centuries with terrifying weight. We speak of Abraham, the friend of God, the chosen patriarch, a man whose faith was considered unshakable. But even the strongest faiths can be pushed to a breaking point, to a place where blind obedience blurs into horror. Imagine the stillness of the night, perhaps broken only by the sound of one's own breath, when the divine voice, the same one that promised Abraham descendants as numerous as the stars, utters a command that defies all logic, all paternal love. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. The silence that follows such an order, we can only imagine. The crushing weight of those words. Isaac, the son of the promise, born in old age, the living miracle, carried the future of an entire nation. Would he now be the offering, the lamb for a sacrifice, ordered by the very God who had promised him? The Bible does not detail Abraham's night after the command. It doesn't describe the anguish, the internal conflict that must have ravaged that father. It only tells us that he rose early, saddled his donkey, took 2 of his servants, and Isaac, his son. He split the wood for the burnt offering and set out towards the place God had shown him. 3 days, 3 long days of journeying. What thoughts must have crossed Abraham's mind? Each step, a countdown to the unimaginable act. Each glance exchanged with Isaac, an invisible knife in the heart. The sacred text is silent on the dialogue, on the charged atmosphere between father and son. But the unsaid screams louder than any word. And then the innocent question, the question that cuts the soul. My father, behold the fire and the wood. But where is the lamb for a burnt offering? The voice of a child, oblivious to the terrible fate hanging over him. Abraham's reply, laden with a somber faith or perhaps desperate denial. God will provide for himself the lamb, my son. They walked on together, a simple sentence, yet it encapsulates a universe of tension, trust, and imminent terror. They arrive at the mountain, the chosen place. Abraham builds the altar, stone upon stone, each movement precise, perhaps mechanical, an attempt to delay the inevitable or to dissociate from the brutal reality. He arranges the wood, and then he binds Isaac, his beloved son, the one he watched grow, the living promise of God. Picture the scene, the father, with hands trembling or perhaps terribly steady, securing his son's limbs. Isaac's gaze, confusion, fear, resignation. The narrative doesn't tell us. Leaving a void, our imagination fills with the darkest possibilities. Abraham reaches out his hand, takes the knife, the cold steel glinting in the sun, the moment suspended in time, the apex of obedience, the nadir of human despair. The arm raises, ready to descend, to fulfill the divine command, to extinguish the light of his own life. Abraham, Abraham, the voice of the angel of the Lord tears through the tense silence. Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. The test was over. The knife did not fall. A ram caught by its horns in a thicket is provided. The sacrifice is made, but not Isaac. Abraham passed the test. His faith was proven absolute. But at what cost? What invisible scars remained etched on the souls of that father and that son? Was trust restored, or permanently shaken by the shadow of that mountain? The story of the sacrifice of Isaac is not just about faith. It's about absolute power, about the sometimes incomprehensible nature of the divine. It's about obedience taken to the extreme, about the fine line between devotion and madness. It's a glimpse into the darkness that can reside in the heart of faith itself, a disturbing reminder of what we might be commanded to do and what we might be capable of doing in the name of God. What would you do? How far would your faith take you? Questions that echo from Mount Moriah through time, haunting the human mind.